Now that we're using the full major scale and building chords using only scale notes, that is truly what playing in key means. So if you come across a song or chord progression with the chords E, F sharp minor, and G sharp minor, we know those chords are derived from the key of E using the first, second, and third scale degree, and we can definitely use the major scale and major pentatonic scale over those chords. Sometimes rhythm guitarists will call this a 1-2-3 chord progression. Let's say you have a song using the chords E, C sharp minor, A, and B. If you dissect the notes used in each chord, you will see they use only scale notes derived from the E major scale, and therefore, using scale degrees, this is called a 1-6-4-5 chord progression. You can definitely use the major scale over this, but be careful. With some experimentation, you'll find that the more chords that are involved in a progression, the more selective you have to be with your phrasing. Not always, but at times. If you find that a certain note sounds off, you may want to move up or down to the next scale note to better blend in with the chord change. Also, you may find that if you follow the chord that is being played with its root note or other chord notes, you'll be safer than if you were randomly playing scale notes. The same would apply to the E major pentatonic scale. Next, let's look at one of the most common progressions, the 1-4-5 progression. In the key of E major, the first scale note is E, the fourth scale note or scale degree is A, and the fifth is B. So a 1-4-5 chord progression would consist of the chords E, A, and B. When you see these chords in any order, you can always bet on using the E major scale. Naturally, you can always use the E major pentatonic scale. Sometimes, for some reason, you can even use the E minor pentatonic scale. This seems to contradict what we've learned, but in popular music, there are always times when you can break the rules. So in this case, we have all major chords, E, A, and B, which is a 1-4-5 chord progression, which in theory uses only notes in harmony with the E major scale, or the E major pentatonic. Yet, when we mix it up with the minor pentatonic, we have a very bluesy or rock sound that definitely works in popular music. So, when will this work and when won't it work? If your chord progression or the background music that you were playing over stays on this 1-4-5 or E, A, B major chord progression, then you're pretty much safe. You might run into trouble if someone is singing at the same time using another scale, like the major or major pentatonic, then crossing over into the minor pentatonic might sound harsh to the ear. Or you might find a section of the song that changes things up and uses another chord from the key of E major, such as the F sharp minor, G sharp minor, C sharp minor, or even the D sharp diminished. If this happens, the E minor pentatonic scale will most certainly give off a mild or very unwanted contrast to the music. A solution here would be to go back to the root note, which is E, and hang on that for a while, or go to an octave E. If you know the chords are coming in advance, you can switch from the scale to the chords in time with the music. Or you could even play the root notes of the chords, which in that example I switched from a 1-4-5, E, A, and B, and on the second run I switched to the C sharp minor chord. So if you're coming out of a lead and you just want to enhance that chord, you might just switch from a E minor pentatonic up to the root note of the C sharp minor chord. Just throwing out some ideas that you might use when a change-up comes in a chord progression. The diatonic